superhero journey. It's going to be a long one. I didn't grow up planning to travel the world. It just kind of happened. My name's Gary Dean. I'm your Blue Hat Bucket List traveler. I did 34 cruises and drove all 48 states and 10 provinces in 43 months. On Blue Hat, I will share my travel stories, what surprised me, and also what I learned along the way. So I didn't start off planning on traveling the world. I didn't travel a lot, really. When I was younger, I was married, worked a lot, traveled. I live on the West Coast, so, the odd Las Vegas trip, do some road trips through the mountains, things like that in the car, but, go skiing, bit like that. And then what happened was I started my own business, and that gave me some freedom. Then I got divorced. Gave me a lot of freedom. It was a sad time though, but 20 some years ago. So it's not sad anymore. But anyways, it was sad getting divorced. And then that gave me a lot of freedom. And that business I started, I ended up getting hiring a call center in the Philippines, and then I ended up going there. So that was 20 years ago. So from not doing much traveling at all of a sudden I'm doing, 15, 16-hour flights across the world. I'm going to do a video. I haven't done it yet, but I did get my DNA tested. I'm half Viking, so maybe that's why. I'm okay with, I just pick up and go. I've got no fear at all going anywhere. I just get in the boat and go. So anyways, I go to the Philippines, started up a business with a lady that worked for me. We ended up getting together and living together in the end. And so I was there, and I was traveling back and forth from Canada to Philippines because the company that I own is based in Canada. So I would be back and forth. My family's in Canada, my mother and sisters and, nieces and nephews and whatnot, brother-in-laws. So, and then I ended up traveling all over Asia because, I'm in Philippines anyways. And, the company started to make money. Let's just say that. So then I had a little extra money. So, okay, let's go see some things. So I would take the girlfriend, sometimes bring her kids that she already had with her ex-husband. So the four of us, sometimes just two of us, sometimes the four of us, started go like, so we're in Philippines. So we'd go over to Malaysia, catch the Formula One race or the MotoGP race. Then, okay, let's go see Singapore. Let's go see Hong Kong. Macau. Let's go to Macau. I think those were the main trips. Thailand. Let's go to Bangkok. Went to Bangkok a few times. Because everything's 2-3 hours, it's not long trips. So I started to travel a bit there, and I was okay with it. I built my business so I could run it, and I still own that business. I still run it, and I can run it from anywhere in the world as long as I have internet. So that's what goes on with that. So, and then I started to plan. I got tired. The business did quite well, and I started to get tired of the Philippine rainy season, they call it, which they should rename that the hurricane season. There they call them typhoons. So those run from end of June to November. So June, July, August, September, October, you got about 5 months of, can be crazy weather, can be, just crazy wind, rain, takes, 36 hours sometimes for a big storm to pass through. Just really, really hard, flooding and, not good. Anyways, power out for, once the storm leaves, the power still be out 3-4 days, things like that. So rough. So I started thinking, my mom and my sister had been on cruises and I'd never been. And I started thinking, well, maybe I should a lot of cruises in the summer, I noticed, Europe, Mexico, and, these kind of things. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just, go do that. So I booked some cruises. Back then, a couple $100 down. It wasn't, deposits were very, very small to book your thing. And then within, I think 3 or 4 months, they wanted more money of the actual sale date. So it wasn't a big deal. And then the girlfriend, the Filipina, she got a Canada visa. So okay, well, let's go to Canada then for some of the summer. So we started to do that. I canceled the cruises, put it on, okay. Before that, she couldn't travel, but now she can travel. Just and then she got USA visa. So I was like, wow, okay, well, then so we would fly back and forth. She had a sister in Los Angeles and then my family in Vancouver. So we would fly Manila back and forth, visit, my family or her family, and we would go, Vegas. Not much to see in Canada, Toronto or Montreal, whatever, right? So Niagara Falls. So a few things in Canada, but mostly we did America. I took her to, we did Las Vegas, New York City, Honolulu, Los Angeles, where her sister was, lots to see there. So we saw the main parts of the world, which was great. And then she ended up, she couldn't always come and whatnot. So I said, okay, well, I'm just going to start doing some cruising. So I started booking these cruises. And the first one of the 34 I did with my mom because she had cruised before and she's in Vancouver. And I gave it to her for her birthday, an 81st or 82nd birthday. And we ended up going from Vancouver up to Alaska and back. And I loved it. I couldn't believe it. I stayed in some nice hotels. Like I said, Indonesia's another place I'd been to. I stayed in a 5-star resort there with my girlfriend. So I'd been to some nice places. And then we ended up going so now I'm on this cruise ship and it's amazing, right? I'm cruising around. It's like literally like floating around like on a 5-star hotel. I just couldn't believe it. I was so happy. And then they ended up, while I'm even on the ship, I get a call from NCL, which was the cruise line. And they're like, we've got some great deals on future cruises. This was October. And they said, we got this Caribbean cruise on sale going from Orlando. Would you like to try that? And I'm like, yeah, maybe, sure. And then December, we got one doing Panama Canal. January, we've got Antarctica. So I booked like 4 or 5 cruises. And then I booked these and I'm on this cruise ship for 7 days up in Alaska. They do this presentation by Cruise Next. It was all about where all this cruise ship would go. And it was amazing. Cruise ships go everywhere. NCL goes all around the world and it's all these places. And I'm like, wow, really? Because I traveled and flying and hotels and, it's, cars, taxis, not easy, right? And now this cruise ship life was easy, unpack, sit on there for 7-10 days, it was so nice, so relaxing. Now that I know this, I was literally just sitting in this presentation and I thought, I'm just going to see the world. It goes around the world. I've got time. My company's done well. It's still doing okay. I can, as long as the ship internet's good enough, I just need good enough. I've got people work for me. I just need to be in touch with them. And if not, even when I get to port, I can get on my phone and figure stuff out, right? So I was working a lot more then though, so I needed some fairly good internet. And luckily Starlink was just starting to come onto the ship, so that helped me a lot. So that's how it started, that Cruise Next presentation, and NCL calling me, right? I had a personal rep and they would call me with deals and this was just after the pandemic in 2022. So they were giving lots of points and rewards and deals, and they were just trying to get people back onto the ships. And I wasn't one of the people who'd been stuck on a ship, so I wasn't scared of the ship. So I get back on this ship and can't believe it. All the places I started to go, it was just so amazing. I bought a new car. I thought, well, the cruising's great. But I also need stuff to do when I'm not on a cruise ship. So I bought the new car, bought a Mustang 5-liter, 2021, brand new one, full load, comfortable car, great on the highway. It's a highway car, not good in the city for gas, but on the highway, it just puts along at 70, 80 miles an hour, right? Very easy. So I'm very excited about it all. Started driving this car and it was good because my girlfriend could do, America and Canada. So we started doing all of that in the car. Okay, we'll drive down from Vancouver all the way down the I-5 to Los Angeles, and then we'll go cut across, take the Highway 10, I-10 all the way to Miami. And, so we did, I think it took 4 or 5 trips for us to do all 48 states. And I'll do a video on that at one time. And that was each trip around 3 weeks to a month. So it's expensive for sure. You're burning gas, staying in hotels every night. It's quite good. Yeah, so it was quite crazy. And we did that until, like I said, 4 trips, 5 trips, 3 weeks each. It was a lot of driving. Sometimes drive just to get on a cruise ship and take a cruise, some of that stuff. So ended up seeing, according to ChatGPT, I haven't added it all up myself. It's over 500 nights though. How many? 34 cruises, 500 nights. And then driving all 48 states and 10 provinces. So yeah, just months, 43 months total, miles and miles and lots of flights and hotels. And it was amazing, saw the world, got it done. At least the world as far as anywhere a cruise ship goes, and sometimes I went to a place and it just wasn't a place that I had been in a lot, or I couldn't stay there a lot. I would get, say I'm getting off a cruise ship or on a cruise ship, even Lima or something, I'd only have a day or two, right? So, I didn't get to go see the 20 things. I just saw 3 or 4 things in every place, but I saw enough, got, kind of the lay of the land and what I liked and what I didn't like. And yeah, it got tiring, even doing it by cruise ship, because I was going city to city. I was flying different places. The time zone changes. I guess I should talk about why I wanted to just do it. I set the goal. I wanted to do it in 2 years. I thought I'll give it 2 years. I should be able to get it done. I realized, only certain seasons that you can go places. The ships move around. So I ended up, okay, it's going to take 3 years. And then, because of different things going on in the world and whatnot, some things got canceled and then the cruise line doesn't want to go there there anymore, or they didn't sell enough tickets. So then I had to go, back and look around, rebook and whatnot. So it took some time to organize it all. And I didn't start off properly because I already had things booked. So, once I started cruising, okay, I finished a cruise. I couldn't just go on another cruise. Sometimes, okay, I had made a family trip to Vegas, or I had different things going on, so I had to do that kind of stuff. And I was living in Asia, so I would have to fly to the North America a lot of times to catch the ships, or over to Europe and whatnot. I did a few Asia cruises, so that was handy, but otherwise, a lot of flying, a lot of roaming around. And a lot of people will do that, say, over 20-25 years, right? I managed to get it done in just over 3.5 years. I finished it all, and plus all the driving, so I was on the road for months and months at a time. The time zone stuff, I still have trouble, getting to sleep because my body clock, I got used to sleeping 3-4 hours, get up, go for 7-8 hours, sleep 3-4 hours, kind of like that, right? Just get used to it. In the end, was it worth it? Yeah. I got to see places I never even dreamed I'd ever see. So I was very happy with that. I ended up, the driving ones were great. A little dangerous, I think, the driving all those miles. You wouldn't drive, a lot of times go 8-10 hours, not often would you go a whole day where you wouldn't see an accident or almost be in one, so that was a little bit. I'm glad that's over. And now I know how lucky I am, to have a passport from where I'm from. A lot of people can't travel, so I understand that. They can only go certain places and do certain things. So I'm blessed that way. I've had a good life, financially and whatnot. My relationship did end up ending in the Philippines, and so then I went to Thailand, and I'd been there before on the cruise ships and for conventions and whatnot, near Bangkok, Pattaya by the beach. So I ended up retiring there, got a retirement visa, so I can come and go from Thailand as much as I want, stay as long as I want. So that was worth it. Being from Canada, I wanted to live somewhere where it's warm, so I managed to get that. It's been good, and it's affordable, which is nice. Got a cost of living's very good with my dollars, and it's beautiful. It's pretty much living somewhere that everyone wants. Thailand, right? People want to go there all the time, so I get to stay there full time. So I'm very lucky that way. I'm still traveling now. I'm in Canada right now, visiting my family. So I still have to make those trips. My mom's 85th birthday coming up. So when you have family, you have to roam around. And so I do. 14, 15 hours, I try to fly nonstop, get back to Thailand from here. So at least I'm on the West Coast. If I was on the East Coast going to Asia as a long haul, you got to do 5-6 hours just to get to the West Coast and then go across. So I'm quite lucky that way. And when I retired to Thailand, I retired from traveling. I still have Cambodia and Laos I haven't been to in Asia, so I might, and they're just a couple hour flights, so I might go do that. And then not sure, because in Thailand they don't get the hurricanes and that, but they still get pretty wet season, and so I might still end up going to Da Nang, Vietnam, and some other places, try to avoid some of that rain. But for the most part, I'm just going to retire the hat, put my feet up, do these videos, going to chronicle the whole thing, all 34 cruises, the 48 states and the 10 provinces. It's got to be over 400 cities I've been to, 70 plus countries. So I got a lot of stories to tell, a lot of, and hopefully you're like me, I don't just, I like to know, what's the weather like in those places, what's the population, what's the main source of revenue, how does the country run, things like that, right? In the end, like anybody, I guess, my younger sister used to go places and she would say, I could totally live here, things like that, right? So I would always, is this a place I could be? And Asia, it's kind of always been a place I see myself, and I like, I like flip-flops and shorts and shirts with no sleeves, things like that, so it fits and it's more laid back, right? And then the cost of living, all that associated with it is pretty nice too. I'm single guy, so I just keep to myself. I got a few expat friends in Thailand, and go for coffee and breakfast and do those kinds of things. Yeah, it's been a good life. As far as the travel goes, though, there's not going to be, I don't plan on doing any more cruises. Can't see myself, I've done enough. Saw it. There's nothing new to see. I'll say that on when a cruise ship sometimes I do back to back, and so they'll go and then they'll maybe do 2 or 3 of the same stops as they go out to do the new stuff. So the people that got on can see, the the good things that we just saw. Like say, I did one from Honolulu to Tahiti, and then went through Bora Bora, and when people got on in Tahiti, we went back to Bora Bora. So stuff like that. There's not often I got off the ship to see anything a second time. It's kind of like I saw it, saw the main thing there, and I'm not going to do any more. I'll just stay on the ship and relax. And it's a hectic schedule, when you're traveling. We used to always joke, I need a holiday from my holiday when you get back, and that's almost how it's been. It's been pretty crazy. So now my feet are up. I'm going to do these videos. Hope you come along with me. I've had friends that, they used to say, I'm riding shotgun with you. I'm in the seat beside you and stuff like that. And, and they've since passed on. So, it's not just having the finances, it's having your health and things like that. And so, so not everyone can do what I did. So I hope you come along with me this way, watch the videos. Not going to, I'm just the facts, ma'am, or whatever that saying used to be. I'm just going to give you, what I saw and back it up, with some videos, clips and photos and that of the different trips. So I hope you'll come with me. Hope you'll enjoy it, and take care.